All right, I just went ahead and started recording, man. So, we call this the NBA championship think tank, man. So, basically starting from the stance of like, if the season starts back, there's a limited amount of time, what could potentially be a fair situation. And I'll be taking some notes on stuff too, and anything we need to kind of research and look up. But I think to me, the starting point might be like, how do you like reward the 16 teams that are actually qualified for the playoffs, so that they not going through the same level of challenge to win a championship as the bottom 16. So I don't think like it'd be really fair for it to be like a NCAA style tournament where Sacramento Kings can win the same amount of games as the Lakers and be champions. Personally. So that was.
I mean, that right there, like we talked about, you got some different options where it's like, in a tournament, it's all about seeding too. If you're doing one game tournament, it's seeding, right? So if you did something like that, the advantage would be the top team going to be able to play the bottom team first, right? Like that's usually how, if you use the NCAA tournament, that's how you kind of determine that, right? The number one seeds play the lower seed. I think in the NBA, the one challenge, or just thinking, I'm just thinking about the challenges that they have, right? One about even saying it's fair of taking the playoff teams right now is all teams haven't played equal amount of games. So they stopped the season before all teams had played an equal amount of games. So even if you did say, let's stop right here and take the teams that's qualified for the NBA, for the playoffs, it's not on an equal playing field even right now, just based off the amount of games that everybody's played. So you have that as a challenge. And then I think coming up to it, then like you said, then you have the challenge of, if you do some type of tournament or something different from the regular playoff format, how do you make it to where, the Lakers or, the Bucks or a team in the number one seed, that it's like they are rewarded for being number one seed. Right? I don't know. I really don't know the complete answer, but I know those are kind of the challenges that kind of are in the way.
Man, I feel like, I think like the World Cup, the whole tournament is completed in 1 month, and I'm assuming, let me see how many teams qualify for a World Cup, because like the World Cup also is in multiple locations.
Are you thinking soccer or FIBA basketball?
No, I'm talking about the soccer World Cup.
But see, here's the issue though, fellas. Here's the issue. Like Al was saying. First of all, if they don't play no more games, if they're able to resume the season and don't play no more games and just take the top 16 teams, right? Like Al was saying, it's kind of unfair to like a Portland. Let's use Portland, for example. Here's a team who's getting healthy towards the end of the season. They know they can make a push and have the ability to make a push to make the 8th seed. So they're going to be screaming foul play or whatever the case may be. It's not fair, because they know, like, we got a chance to be the 8th seed. And if you just say, all right, based on where the season ended, we're just going to take the top 16 teams, then that's not fair to us, because, you know what I'm saying, we didn't get a chance to play out the rest of the season, however many games was left, to see if we can make our playoff run. That's the first thing. Second thing is, as far as the playoff actual, like you was alluding to, like the playoff actual setup, right? That's like, you have to figure that out. Like, is it gonna be a one-stop shop, which could be done? They could do the one-stop shop thing as far as playing, but as far as all the teams having what they need to practice and prepare, I don't know if that works, because it works for Vegas. Summer League is like that. All the teams are at Summer League and they play. You know what I'm saying? They play in one facility, the hotel setup, all that stuff. I think it will work. But Vegas is also not a real season. Vegas, you also don't have the top players in the world trying to compete for a championship. So as far as having all the right, you know what I'm saying, places to practice and recover and all that stuff, that's going to be the difficult part about trying to do this at a one-stop shop type of situation.
Like how? So where do teams practice at during like the Vegas Summer League?
I mean, you're gonna have the different high schools and stuff that they can go to. Like I said, now you got actually all however many teams. If you picking up the season and having all how many teams is it? 32 teams now? 30 however many teams?
Yeah, something like that. 30 between 30 and 32, man.
So I mean that's different.
30.
It's different if you got all 30 teams there, and each team gonna have to have somewhere to practice.
Okay. And have their own medical staff and their own.
Exactly. And you talking about we still in a pandemic era where, like, even though they're in Vegas, the other areas in Vegas going, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they going to risk the people in the community, people in Vegas to, you know what I'm saying, for this? Like, you talking about I got to open up how many high schools you're going to have to make available?
Then another thing to even consider on that is, so then you're saying if it's a month long, I mean, are we saying every player, every trainer, everybody involved with that essential staff, they know family for a month? All you can do is go to your hotel, come out, play basketball at your scheduled time, and go back to your hotel. You asking, that's, to me, I think you're gonna run into stuff around that with timing of you asking players to basically get on the prison-like schedule. Not saying in the bad, but it's like it's not like I could go hoop and then after let's go to the restaurant and eat and kick it. Let's go here. Let me go back home and rest and relax. You really have to be in a box with just the players, people in the tournament without having that extra. You know what I mean? I think that'll be a challenge in this whole thing too. It's like you either asking people to stay completely away from family or you're asking people to be even more open to risk if you don't do that. You know what I mean?
So what about like home court advantage? Like would it be unfair if, let's say, it was like a group play model and like it was four markets that it started out in, and then kind of like the NCAA tournament? You feel like would that be unfair if one of them was LA? Or would it be unfair if one of them was a team that wouldn't have got home court? Like, say, Atlanta has a group play. Is that like,
Well, I think it can't be with fans. If we do it this summer, it can't be with fans. So I don't know how you know what I mean? I don't know how you get the advantage.
So fans is 100% ruled out?
I think until it's like, hey, it's 100% public for everybody to go outside, then you have to rule out fans being a part of something with the NBA. I don't think that they would risk. From my understanding of how the NBA is looking at it, they're not risking bringing fans in. Like,
fans can't social distance. It can't be one fan per 3 seats.
I think right now, until they say, hey, it's wide open, everybody good to go back, you're not gonna see it because, I just don't see the risk. You know what I mean? I go to the game. You told me the social distances. I go to the game. I got corona. I'm suing the NBA. Y'all said it was gonna be okay. You know what I mean? It's like too much risk. I don't see that happening myself this summer. I don't see it happening, and unless they come out and say the U.S. is open, corona's going down, everybody's good. I don't see them just opening up a tournament with fans no earlier than August. That's my kind of opinion.
Man, okay. I think Al. I mean, I'm with Al on that. Like, if they gonna finish the season this summer, and I think they're gonna have to come to a decision. They're gonna have to announce something May 1st, right? And they're gonna have to come to a decision by mid-May whether or not this thing can happen or not. Because after that, it's like, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't, if you're not planning on starting this thing at the end of May or sometime in May, or knowing that you can start it early June, like, it's really like, it's really like doomed to even happen.
Man.
And so for everybody's sake, I think if they're gonna do it, the best way is to, I mean, it would suck and it would be totally different and it would change the atmosphere and it would change, you know what I'm saying? It would change the dynamics of a sporting event, not having fans, but that would be probably the only way you could pull this off is to not having fans.
Yeah, I think you could do some dope stuff if they do any type of tournament and don't have fans and you did something. I think Summer League is probably the closest model that I think could work, right? Like, because like you said, where has the NBA done something where you had a bunch of teams in one place, you had everybody all in one city? Summer League is the closest model that they've ever came across, right? Like, when does the NBA even have tournament? Summer League, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So Summer League would be probably the best type of situation to try to do anything.
Yeah, because it's kind of familiar.
It's a proven model. You know you can do it, right?
Yeah. So
you've never done it with the real teams, but it's been done with, you know what I'm saying? It's been done with all the teams for Summer League and, and the young players and players, so it's been done. So they know that format works. It's just, I think now it's just a matter of the safety and well-being of everybody with the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, how do we deal with that? Because like you said, it's basically going to be a control. Everything's going to have to be controlled. Like from the whole restaurant eating staff, like the restaurant staff, and like, all right, how do you control, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you control all these people? Because when they leave the staff, I mean, are they not going home to their families? You know
that's what I mean. It's almost like everybody involved in the whole thing has to be locked down. And then one thing I heard that was really this is another like thing they have to look at is the backlash that they could get, because in doing that, people probably have to continuously get tested, right? Like you can't, like if I'm a player, right? I don't know if this man went out and what he did last week on this other team. I don't want to, if I play him, then that might affect me. So there's going to have to be testing. And then if you have all that testing for all those players, I can imagine there's backlash where people say, how can y'all test every NBA player in the tournament 2-3 times every other week, but we can't get a test here at home? Like y'all are wasting tests on the regular people. So I feel like you risk the testing part. I think you have to test people, and then the actual testing is you're going to risk backlash, I think, from certain people in the public who are going to say, how can y'all spend resources to test these people, but we can't get a test here in my city? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a challenge.
So, man, like, and I'm thinking, I mean, something got to be happening in association with these games, like to make it like I don't know, like not necessarily interactive, but like, I don't know if there's like.
Well, I'm gonna throw a little idea out there. That I think if you can't get past all the safety, do the Vegas model, you could do something real dope. Where if it was like, man, we almost all access streaming to the tournament. It's like 24/7. You're gonna have have the players watching game. Like, just imagine if you got. Let me look at the standings. Let's just look like, say for instance, the Clippers and the Mavericks was playing, right? But you got LeBron in the stands. You got, people from the Thunder, he hanging with Chris Paul, and they watching the game together, mic'd up, like giving commentary from the stands of like, hey, that boy Ricky. And then, you got those exclusive things going on with players watching other players. Like, if you could do something like that and have it where I could tap in, players on the court mic'd up, I can get a deeper look. I can get LeBron. He's actually giving me commentary on the game. Somebody else, like, if you did all that and it was accessible through the stream and I could watch it, that could be dope. Like, I think it'd be something new that we've never seen. And like giving that inside, like I want to see, like I wonder what LeBron is saying if he's watching the clip, like watching Lou Williams on the court. Like what's their reaction during the game watching it, and that might be a different experience for them, because how many games has LeBron maybe watched live in the NBA over the last however many years? That might be something new for players too.
Yeah, now I mean, if you're talking about like something kind of like the boxing model, where like they telling the story of like almost like a documentary, the whole process type of thing, or you talking about like just during the game, like you getting like
I'm almost like you might get both. Like, but for sure during a game, I might, instead of, there's not going to be fan noise. So if I'm watching it, I'm either one to hear people mic'd up on the court, or I need to hear LeBron giving me instead of it just being the two announcers announcing the game, you might cut to to Braun in the stands, right? You might cut to somebody, having a conversation about what's going on in the court and getting other NBA perspectives as fans. You know what I mean? Like we've never.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Like to see players commentate, like seeing players commentate a game, or even if they brought back some of the OGs, like just come like commentate, a game like that don't normally do that. Like that would be kind of like, okay, yeah, all right, like I'm seeing something like in a unique way. But I was gonna ask you, Daniel, like, how does you went to what like Nike or ABCD camp, like the All American camp?
ABCD. Mm-hmm.
So how did that work? Y'all were just playing. It was just like just coaches in the crowd, right? Just so is it like y'all would play and then y'all watch it? Like what was the energy like?
It was like a tournament setting. You know what I'm saying? It was like a tournament setting. So you had people there. It was accessible to the public, but mostly it was gonna be people like the guys that's at the camp, parents or family members, and then some people that may be around the area who know about what's going on. But yeah, mostly it was gonna be players and coaches, and the staff that's working at camp. But it was still like a tournament setting where where you had games going on all day. You got 3 or 4 courts. You know what I'm saying? Games playing at the same time on the. It's only one facility. So you got 3 or 4 courts and the games going on at the same time, and guys coming in and out, going back and forth from the hotel to the gym, like that.
Let me ask you this: do you think a possible tournament could be presented, but it not necessarily being like the winner being considered the NBA champion? It just being like a NIT type of thing, just an in-season tournament, but it's not like, you're a world champion if you win. It's just or do you feel like the winner got to get a ring?
Yeah, because the players ain't gonna go for that. It's gonna be like, for what? What are we playing for then? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, everybody wants the game to come back, but also you gotta remember these guys. I mean, you gotta worry about their well-being too. So if you want to bring me back for the sake of the public to, to please and entertain. Nah, like what if I get hurt?
But you also got, your pay for the sake of your check as well. Like
you're right, but at the same time, if I'm going out there and playing and it's not worth getting hurt for, then that what I'm saying, it don't matter. Like you done cost me some money anyway because I done got hurt, and you talking about we not even playing for a championship.
All right, so hey, boys not going for the.
I agree. I think that you, like you said, that's gonna be a heavy ask if we playing for fun. But so I'm gonna leave my family for a month. I ain't gonna be able to see my family. I'm gonna have to be around these guys. They might have corona. I don't know. And I could get hurt. And we not playing for a chip. Man, I'm good. I'd rather stay at the crib, especially.
Just 5 years ago, these same guys was excited to be playing there on a Christmas game at the Garden, whatever, ACC versus that, and it was all good. Like so.
Yeah, I know. But now you got families. Now you're in profession. You done made it. Like so, I think that you're gonna always have that. I feel like I was talking about this the other day where. Now you may get to a situation where how it is when it's like a work stoppage or something, or like a thing between the union and owners, where like it might get to where there's some pressure about bread, where the younger, maybe some guys who ain't got their bread in order, or like need the money, are gonna be maybe like, man, we want to play in the tournament. You know what I mean? If there's some money involved, like if you put a dollar amount, kind of like how that basketball tournament, how they do on ESPN, like if you put some money at the end, like, hey, we're gonna have a tournament, it's no champion, but the winner of the tournament, y'all busting down 50 million, y'all busting down X amount of million. Hey. Now somebody may be like, you know what? I'm finna glove up. I might hoop with a mask on, just because.
But then that go. But what you think, like on the social messaging part, like millionaires playing in a tournament to win 50 million.
Trust me, you gonna have that. So I don't know if it's charity, you gonna have it. I just do. I feel like if you go to when you get down, they start docking pay, and they start saying, "Hey, boys not getting paid," and then they could probably say something to try to convince a certain amount of players to be like, "Yeah, I'm down for the tournament." But I feel like if I'm LeBron, if I'm somebody who's already established in the league, I got family, I got kids, I'm not really in the mood to rush back for a tournament if it don't count towards championships. You know what I mean? Or if it's not something that's really going to be impactful.
So, man, what it look like, man, so far is, man, it's probably one location, and just some super all access content, man. And
I think one location, super access content.
But a month is a long time to ask a married man.
I feel like they're gonna have it.
If it was rookies, I feel like you could get it all. But I'm 33 years old. I'm PJ Tucker. I'm like a month.
Bro, I'm telling you, not really though. The NBA season, you got to think about it. Sometimes, bro, you're on a road trip for 2 weeks. That's half a month already. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really far fetched to be like, all right, man, I gotta be away from my family for a month. Like that's already going on for the most part throughout the NBA season. Because you gotta remember, even if I'm home, right? Sometimes I'm not even home because I just got off the road, right? I got a day off, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to rest up, so you might not even see your kids the day you home before you know what I'm saying, before you go back to your next game or go back on the road again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come home, it's back-to-backs. Then you got to go back. Then y'all flying out the next day. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, it's real. Like, yeah, it's tough, man.
Man, no, that's interesting.
So one thing that's working towards the tournament, though, I would say, if you think about the two big initiatives from the business side that I heard the NBA, like that I've been hearing biggest from the NBA for the last couple of years have been that in-season tournament or whatever that the commissioner trying to do, and then pushing the season back towards December. Like that was before Corona. Those were like two of the biggest things I kept hearing about. Like that would be changes or something new. And so I do feel like from a league, from an NBA commissioner, NBA business and basketball side, that this is the prime opportunity to test out or to push those, to like get those things in motion, right? And if you don't try to have some type of tournament right now, or you don't go ahead and just say the season gonna start later in December, then it's almost like you passed up an opportunity to maybe transition to that, right? So if we go this year, if they don't move the season back or if they don't test out a tournament theory or something, then it's almost like if you come back next year and do it, I'd be like, bro, y'all should have tested that out last year, or don't.
Yeah.
Now, this would be the perfect, they kind of almost have a perfect storm to test out the two biggest things that they wanted to implement. So that's why my thought is that, like, I feel like the NBA, on the NBA side, they want to try to figure out a way to have some type of tournament before the end of it, before we start the 2021 season. I would imagine that they would try to do some type of tournament. Like I really truly believe, like if I was them, if I was them, and what I think they're in the office is like, how can we create some type of tournament the same way we thinking to make this work? I do feel like that's in the NBA's best interest right now to put that in front of us, because it'll be the perfect time to do it. Rather than trying to come back next year and testing something. We already in a weird season, so then you come back next year and do something out of the ordinary. It's kind of like, then you'd have to go through the next year to actually say this is the new thing. I think they would rather come back the next season we have, the next NBA season, and this is the NBA season. That's their opportunity to say this is the new season, right? This is the new normal season, whatever we come out of. Like, I don't think we come out of something, do something, and then the next year is like the new normal. I think whatever we come out of, they're gonna want that to be the new normal.
Hey man, you gotta you gotta have another dunk contest and 3-point contest too, man. Like we gotta you gotta pull out all the bells and whistles, man. Like if it's we gotta have like a month-long All-Star weekend. Like you like
okay. I just in thinking of that, I feel like this is just a random thing, but I feel like one of the NBA challenges is with the whole figuring out how many teams and what teams play. Like at the same time, you can't have the opportunity to have a summer tournament and then you're leaving out guys like Zion. Like, I think it'll be hard if you had an all access tournament. We want to showcase the league. We want people to tune in. If you don't open it up to all the teams, or you don't have some type of playoff to get into this, whatever, you're gonna leave out the Dame Lillards. You're gonna leave out the Zions. You might leave out, there's still a bunch of teams that are like, man, they won't make the playoffs, that I think would bring the value of whatever type of tournament. Like, they wouldn't be able to maximize that tournament without some of those players. Now, granted, you have the top superstars in the league that's gonna make it, but I feel like that's another thing that they may be trying to bounce around. Is like, in short, how can we get Zion in this tournament? You know what I mean? Like, all access.
Not to cut you off, but the thing about it, from a fan standpoint, right? All this is great because fans, you want to see as much as possible. From a player standpoint, right? The guys ain't gonna go for the in-season tournament. They not trying They not going for it. They not gonna sound off on that, bro. Like, you're not. Because this type of stuff you have to do in Europe, right? Europe has a lot of situations. They stuff is different where throughout the middle of the season, you have like an in-season, like, it's kind of like, it's not long though, but it's only like you have like an in-season tournament, right? Where, like, in every country, you play the top 4 teams or like the top 16, just depending on what country you're in. From the previous year, you go play in this little tournament to see who wins. It's called the Cup. Who wins whatever, the Italian Cup, the Spanish Cup. You know what I'm saying? Every country has a cup league where in the middle of the season they have this little tournament, right? And like, even though it's good to win it and it's big to win it, like during the season, you like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, you going through a season, you tired, you get dealing with injuries. Like, you like, man, all right, dog, like, you got the cup coming up. Like, it's never like, yeah, we got the cup coming up. Nah, you like, man, dang, like, the cup coming up. You got to do it because it's part of a system. But
yeah,
be a part of the NBA system, and you trying to implement this. Guys are not trying to, like, you're not trying to add more games to 82 games.
What you're already playing, yeah.
Unless it's gonna take, and you can't. Yeah, this will be adding games to it because if you lose, you out. So you know what I'm saying? Would be adding games to it unless they did it with like, all right, this is gonna take the place of some games.
Yeah.
But
You telling me that, man, if fans are sitting 4 to 5 seats apart and this is on every seat, we can't.
You going to the game?
I'm there. Shit, you give me some tickets to see LeBron. Shit, I'm there. I'm like,
but this a couple things. Well, this a couple things, man.
You give me courtside tickets to see a whole league play. I'm risking it all, man.
Man, this is what I'm saying though. Hand sanitizer.
Faith in God, man.
Hand sanitizer right now is damn near a commodity, right? Like, it's hard to get. So, like, thinking about if a team goes out and gets enough hand sanitizer for whoever's in it, or the league, whoever's in that place, somebody has to go put that stuff down. I just really think that fans thing is just too much risk and liability, right? Like, it's like, if I can't just go out and do what I want to do outside right now, then, like, trying to say, hey, come out to this game, it's going to be too much. The thing is going to be, and then how do you pick what fans get to go? You know what I mean? Like,
man, yeah,
that's no fan. Like,
man, hey, this gonna be it's right here, like, man, gonna be the Da Vinci Code, man. Like,
yeah,
man.
Hey, that's a good point though, Al. Like, how do you, like, what type of measures? You know what I'm saying? What type of measures are you gonna take to say who's allowed to come to the games? Like, is it gonna be everybody gonna get screened? Who got it's too many uncertain variables got to go on for fans to attend these games right now.
Especially right now, like, literally, like you said, I literally have to, because if this fan, you have social deal, we saying, hey, sit 6 feet apart. But what if I got a thing and I'm not doing that, or if I get in cross players? Like, you literally are bringing players under the thing now. Like, if you have any fans in there now, like, you're risking anybody else who you do have in a controlled setting. You know,
with the correct mask, I saw, like, I did take a look at this. With the correct mask on, a person with the coronavirus, if they're wearing it, if just they have on a mask and are within 6 feet of somebody, they have it's a 1.5% chance of them actually spreading the disease. And they still have to, with the mask on, have to like, cough, sneeze, something like that. I know 1.5, is still high. It's almost like the plane statistic, like 99% ain't good enough, for every flight to land. So it's like, maybe that got to be lower to like, I mean, what if it's down to 0.5? What if it's down to like literally 0.5% of the population has this disease? That's no like.
Well, what I'm saying is, at that point, it should be like, if we get back to new normal, then all of this, everything can happen, right? But it's like, if we get down to point, that's one of the questions I'm asking. At what point can we even just say we back to regular? Like, I can go out and go to like I could just go do, go where I feel comfortable just going out. Like, what's that number? Because it has to, if that's the case, you almost have to have that number in place before fans come into the building. I just think it's like with fans, you get too much liability. It's almost like you can't even go off of that, right? Like it's very weird unless everybody is open. You just have too much liability. Unless there's something that came out from the government or the whole all of that's like, we good now. Like, everybody get back to what you're doing. We good. Like, if that came out, then yeah, all this changes the whole thing. If they say if May 1st they announce, hey, everybody back good, but then I still think you're gonna have the debate just like right now. If they came out and said, if the government come back and say everything good, there's like a lack of trust between government, between corporation and people. You know what I mean? You got three entities where it's like, I don't know if people doing this for corporate, I don't know if people doing this for government, or I don't know if people really doing it for my safety. So it's almost like the trust is weird. I feel like even if they said everybody good, it's still gonna be people like, I'm gonna wait a little bit. Like, let me wait another month after they make the announcement, just so I know I'm good. So you're gonna have players saying that, fans, everything. And then if all of a sudden they start having tournaments, and I was a season ticket holder for the Lakers, now they having a tournament in Vegas with LeBron. I know with our season ticket members, they haven't came up. They I don't know if people know this, but it's just true. They haven't gave a resolution on that. They haven't issued refunds. They haven't started saying, here's your money back. That hasn't happened yet. So you can't all of a sudden have a tournament where LeBron playing, but I was a suite holder for the Lakers, and now y'all having something that I can't be a part of. Like, I'm gonna feel some type of way. So now all the fans are backlashing like, hey, hold on, I need to get my bread. I need to be able to get there. So I think you got those type of logistics where it's like what's up? Like, you gotta solve because we also looking at, it's like NBA is franchise model, just like McDonald's corporate, and then all the other stores are owned by other people. It's like the team. So the team has to deal with their customers, period. And then the NBA, the NBA could say, hey, we're gonna do a fan drawing, you come here. But then it's like the teams are individually going to have to deal with their fans and answer a bunch of questions, which I don't know if that's, I don't know if everybody's prepared for that. And then on the mask thing, if you do have mask at the arena, if they was playing in the tournament, then if I'm a first responder somewhere and we're running low on masks, I'm gonna be like, damn, y'all got enough masks to give people to see this basketball tournament, but I'm on the front lines trying to help save people's lives, and we don't have the proper mask. It's a lot to go with that. So I just think.
Hey man, I got a newfound respect for Adam Silver's job, man. Hey man, this right here, man. Hey man.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a lot to think. Like you said, we just imagine we up here just out the blue, kind of just throwing out stuff like this. Like, this not our job. Like you said, just imagine this is job, and he trying to figure out, man, how can I possibly get basketball back in play and it be still entertaining and a great product for the people, but also we still doing everything we could to make sure everybody's well-being, everybody's safe, and you know what I'm saying, that it's a great and safe environment to do so. But like, and I don't think you would have, as far as the ticket holder situation, if they did like a one-stop in-house tournament type, whatever the case may be, I mean, that would throw the whole ticket holder stuff out the window because it
Yeah.
would kind of like the NCAA, right? All right, like first come, you know what I'm saying? Like you buy your ticket, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's on the same playing field. Like you get your tickets or you don't get your tickets. Like I can't. It's no season ticket holder type of, you know what I'm saying, situation.
Nah, no doubt, man. Well, hey, man, before we got out of here too, man, one thing I wanted to, man, I'd already hit you on and asked you about, but man, just get your feedback on that, on both of y'all actually, on that pathway to the pros program and what y'all think about that, as far as like for you being someone that was like a McDonald's All-American. Now, obviously, like you wanted to go to Duke and everything like that, but I don't know, like maybe an Alton Ford type of person. I don't know what his aspirations was. He, if he wanted to go to college or if he would have tried to go straight to the league. But like, do you see that becoming something that like is a viable option that can compete with like the college route?
Sure. I think it's a great idea that the NBA and G League has come up with. And it gives these kids, like you said, not everybody wants to go to college. Like, granted, some people are, you know what I'm saying, like myself, like I wouldn't going to school wasn't my favorite thing. Like I said, I didn't have the option of going pro right out of high school, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. So I had to, that was the next best thing to do. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, especially how they doing it. It's kind of like a paid internship for these kids to learn the business of the game. You know what I'm saying, to develop both physically and mentally and socially, financially. Like, yeah, I think it's a great platform for the kids who know they don't want to go to school, and also like, all right, I'm not trying to go overseas. All right, you're gonna pay me six figures to go do this for a year or two, and I can develop and then get ready for the draft. I think it's gonna be beneficial, and it's gonna like I said, it's gonna affect college basketball, but not as big as people may think, because they're not allowing all the kids that think they're top players to go do this. They're selecting only like a handful of kids, like 10 kids. They're only selecting like 10 kids to say, all right, we think these 10 kids are good enough, or these are 10 kids that we want to invite or give the opportunity to take the deal or not. And you know what I'm saying? So that's only 10 kids out of, let's say it's 25 kids to make the McDonald's game. You still got 15 more kids who people still want to see or are still going to have to go to college. And not all the kids going to take the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like the kid, Greg Brown from Austin, he decided he wanted to go to school and go to Texas. So not all the kids are still, it gives the kids, it's good that they have the option, but not all the kids are going to, like some kids, like you said, some kids still want to have that college experience or whatever the case may be. They might not feel like they're ready, whatever the case may be. Like some kids are still going to go to college, but it's great that they have the option to say, okay, if I don't want to go to college, I have this great opportunity to go be under the NBA umbrella, learn a lot of stuff that I'm not going to learn at college or overseas, to prepare myself better for a year or two from now when I want to try to enter the draft.
But quiet as kept on the low, man. Hey, LeVar putting pressure on them boys, man. Unc got them changing all the rules, man. Like, hey, that's a big baller brand reply, man.
But I'm glad you said that, because I mean, what he did was unprecedented at the time, taking his son out of school as a sophomore and taking him overseas. And that's kind of what this is. I mean, it kind of give these kids this kind of option. Like, granted, I don't know if you saw, I was talking about the kid Amani Bates, right?
I mean, I'm not familiar with him.
Amani Bates is basically the best high school player in the nation right now. He's only a sophomore.
Okay.
Right? They gave him high school Gatorade Player of the Year. He's a sophomore. Like, he just finished his sophomore season.
Wow, Amani Bates. I'm a YouTube.
I posed the question, right? Like, what else does this kid have to prove? You just said he's better than 2 classes above him.
Yeah. Why should he?
Why should he come back to school for 2 more years? What is he gonna do in high school for 2 more years? Right? If he doesn't get hurt, he's gonna be a McDonald's All-American. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's already that. People are saying he's already that good. So why not? If I'm him and if I'm his people, why not vouch to say, hey man, I need one of these opportunities to go do this G League thing for 2 years? Because the NBA in 2 years are gonna change the rule to where you can come straight out of high school.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
man.
think
Like a
one thing.
sophomore though, man. I see. I don't.
Well,
Because
this is
you
what
got the Kwame Brown effect, where you got impressionable kids that are around grown men.
Well,
And
nah.
it's not
Look
like
at this.
tennis or golf.
Hold on, Rob.
Out before you go out.
Yeah.
See, this is a different day and age, right? Kwame Brown wasn't being seen by all the NBA execs and players. Like the access to Kwame Brown wasn't what it is now. Like everybody's saying this about this kid.
No, I'm talking about just the social interact. You know, man. Like some of these NBA guys, man, they ain't friendly. And you gotta. What if it don't work for a 15-year-old? You got like a MJ type of dude just riding you.
That's where the G League
program for.
Yeah, that's the program for. The program, it doesn't just put you in front of all the NBA players. You're actually on a team with the same type of players. Y'all are going through a certain regimen. Y'all are learning about certain
So
things.
you got one guy making $500,000 and then everybody else making 35.
Now, everybody on this is a separate. It's not even a regular G League team. What they have is it's like a select team. They go play other G League teams as like exhibition and competition, but you're with your same guys. That's what they're trying to build, like a team where it's just these same guys who accepted the deal. Y'all are learning, doing like little programs, learning about stuff, learning about how to be a man, learning how to like getting ushered into the league, and then you go play other teams. They not throwing you on the Lakers and you just a rookie. They literally are trying to build like an incubation type thing where like it's almost like you said, like Daniel said, like almost like a paid internship to learn how to be a professional. You know what I mean?
I feel that. The only thing about that, I got to go back to the branding side, man. Like, hey, I'm trying to watch D. Ewing play at Duke. I'm not trying to watch a Rio Grande Valley game to catch you playing against the, Corpus Christi Rockets. Like,
I think what you're saying though makes a lot of sense. Of what we want to look at is, does it bring down your potential value? Like you said, like if I win the tournament playing for Duke and hit a big time shot during the NCAA tournament, my name value might, skyrocket. If I played in the Duke versus UNC game, it was TV. I got really big looks. Now my name value is higher when I hit the league versus, like you said, if I was on Rio Grande Valley, it might not be the same, except a lot of these guys going to play on this G League team already got 1 million+ followers on Instagram. They already household names. Like they don't even need, it might be, they don't even need Duke. Like Zion might not even need it. I don't know if Zion really needed Duke. He might have been bigger.
Duke lit him up, man.
He got lit, but truth be told, I mean, Zion was a huge brand already, bro. Like I know people who was like, Zion was my favorite player before Duke.
Zion before Duke was Kendrick Lamar Section 80. He was on. People knew he was nice. But Zion after Duke is Kendrick after the Dr. Dre co-sign.
I don't know, bro.
It's like, man,
So here's something for y'all to think about.
Not for the youngsters. I don't think it's for the youngsters.
As it relates, I was talking to I did a quarantine conversation with Nolan Smith the other day, right?
Oh, okay. Arkansas coach?
No. He's Nolan Smith played at Duke. He's the director of basketball operations now.
Okay, my bad. That's Nolan Richardson I'm thinking about.
I'm talking about Nolan Richardson. And I brought this up to him about what he thought about what we talking about. And he brought up the fact that he's like, man, like I said, some kids not gonna take the deal. And some kids, like for Zion, in Zion's case, right? He probably, a kid like that, what he did in college, he probably just say college allows kids, college is pushing for, the NCAA is pushing for, the whole image, name, and likeness thing, right? Mm-hmm. So for a kid like Zion who went to Duke and did what he did at Duke, right? If the image and likeness deal is in place when he's at school, Zion probably makes more money being at Duke than he would taking the $500,000.
Sure.
I'm saying because of who he was and what he did in college and the school he was playing for. You know what I'm saying? And the attention he got. Like you're saying. It just depends on the player and what they do, and the status and the status and the following they have going into whatever the situation may be. But like, yes, Zion's a great example. Like, yeah, he probably would have been better off had he had this opportunity to not take the deal, go play for Duke, and you know what I'm saying, and be able to have a chance
money off his license,
make more money than the 500. You know what I'm saying, the maximum amount that he would be offered for the G League situation. But every kid is not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Every kid is not gonna perform like Zion did.
It's that likeness piece too. Yeah, if he could make money off his likeness, then it makes more sense to go to Duke because now you're on a higher profile, but you can receive those benefits from your likeness. So then, yeah, I'd rather go to Duke than go take this $500,000 playing Rio Grande Valley Vipers. I'd rather go to Duke, get high profile, go to the tournament, but make my money on the back end. Like I do agree with that.
Because at the end of the day, if that I don't know Zion's endorsement deal or whatever, but let's just say that Nike offer was say he had a, I don't know, $100 million shoe deal, man, 50 million of that came from that 1 year of seeing Zion on SportsCenter every day on, you know, in that Duke jersey. Like, so it's still like, you know, that brand.
Right. You're right, Rob. You're absolutely right. Like, that's what I'm saying. But you can't. We didn't know. Like Zion didn't know that either. He was going to be a great. He was going to be a number one pick, or you know what I'm saying. He was going to be a top pick anyway. But him performing the way he did, he didn't know. Like you can't predict that. So for a kid, like it's just a matter of chance. Like it's either all right, man. I want to go to school and experience the college. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to school and go to college and experience that for 1 year. Or you know what? I don't want to deal with school, man. I don't like school. I'm gonna take this whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take this 6-figure deal, go learn how to be a professional, get groomed, the mentorship and all that, and then put my name in the draft the year after that. And then, you know, I bet on myself to be able to get the stuff that I think I can get, you know what I'm saying, as far as branding and endorsements. I'll get all that stuff. I'll still get all that stuff when it's time.
Hey, Rob J couldn't have been an athlete because I'm a Johnny Manziel. I'm not about to be broke and y'all got my jersey on. I'm gonna be signing autographs. I'm gonna be, hey man, look, I'm gonna have, you know, but then, you know, they really nowadays it's a little different because everything digital. You got to cash out all. Man, look, Rob J would have been signing autographs, and I would have been re-rocking jerseys.
Appearances. Yeah, I'm pulling up to the.
Like, yo, I'm taking it all, man. Like, shit, what up? Think I'm about to be, man. Chris Webber talking about, man, he couldn't buy lunch and saw people selling his jersey. Man,
me. Look, I think it's the one other thing I seen, especially when you brought up Amani Bates, and I think LeVar bringing the pressure, but I feel like somewhere like Luka, right? Luka been able to been in a professional basketball environment from a young age, and that's like a normal thing in European basketball, right? These kids are like, once you get 14 or 15, they shipping you off to the club academy, right? Now, from 14, 15 years old, you are playing like it. You're almost like D1 basketball, but probably even more. It's probably like the G League program at 14 up to 18. So you think about Luka, he's been a professional. He had that same type of program for years. So if they continue to do that over there in Europe, I think that's a big reason why a lot of those players are catching up, because they're literally, you got to remember, a guy over here, he's 16, he might be going to school. You got all kind of distractions. You got the girl stuff you can run into. You got cats on, and you don't know what kind of living environment they in. So you got all these, you might be the best player at 16, but you got to really try to survive for 2 more years in regular civilian world to make it to college. Then get to college, like, man, I got to survive that year without getting hurt, without running into no issues with either you doing something or something happening around you. Like, to me, that's the thing that I think we have to catch up, where it's like we, like young athletes here, we should be given the opportunity to, like, that's my skill set. If that's going to pay bills, if that's going to help me get there, like, if I'm the best player at 16, man, I would love for option. Now I can really go focus on honing that skill to be the absolute best player starting now versus kind of surviving for the next 2-3 years and then getting into a professional setting.
And I think LaMelo, I think LaMelo's career gonna really, really kind of be a good litmus. Like, I think if LaMelo come in and light it up, then I think it's they're gonna have to knock the top off the players. Australia, this program is like, I mean, because it does seem like it does seem, looking at it, I mean, even though people like Lithuania, all that stuff. Look, I'm Rob J. Ball, man. I've been riding with Unc from the beginning. You know, man, if the Lord if I would have been living a little better at the time, I would have even copped the shoe. I've seen the vision that he had. Only thing it was just unfortunate, man. You know, looked out for a brother, and you know, you just, you know, did that shadiness, man. But I see the end result kind of like seeming like, man, that might be the way. But hey, one last thing though, man, I was wanting to ask you about, man, because I see this on the gram, dog, and I was talking to Carlos Hurd about this, man, and it was so funny, man. He was like, yeah, man, you get better at hooping by hooping. I'm on Instagram, a dude got a ladder, half a jump rope, in a box that he got to go stepping on. Hey, man, like, oh, you played the game at the highest level, man. How are y'all letting these guys come, man? And man, they got like a cup of bleach, a dude running around here. Then they taking moves. Oh, well, if you're here, you do the step back curl. Then you do that, and they doing the moves against the air. Like, how y'all, dog, they robbing you, man. You went, dog, drop. Why, dog, they taking money. That's your money, dog.
Man, you know what's crazy? They not robbing me because that ain't my field. Like, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't train, right? For the simple fact that it's a lot of people, bro, who will say like, yeah, you know, like Daniel, he played a dude. He was a McDonald's All-American. He made it to the NBA, this, that, and the third, had a successful. And there's a lot of people who won't listen to me. They not gonna, you know what I'm saying? For the simple fact that they can go on the internet and see somebody like you, like somebody who've caught their interest, and they feel like, okay, I can just follow what this guy's doing, or you know what I'm saying, like, and I can make my son or daughter better. Like, people really, it's hard for people to understand. Like, all I can do is give you the information. What you do with is up to you. And most of the time, from a player like myself and guys like these people, they're not gonna take the information we give them. They're gonna go out and go against what we tell them.
I'm gonna say this, hey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, study the white man. And I'm starting to understand what he meant when he said that. It was like, man, no, one thing about it, man, is like, hey, I'm a lover of people, man. You know, obviously I love our people first. But man, they are geniuses at packaging. Like, they just, man, I seen a dude explain, man, well, see, on his fast break, this right here is actually your 0 step. I'm like, what? A 0 step, bro? I'm talking about, man, got a whole, see, so you do a 0 step axis right here. Like,
the whole gather step that people talking about now, that's not like when people talking about, man, he didn't travel, he took the gather step. Like, bro, like, I ain't got time to be explaining and arguing people over, like, bro, I done played the game. Like, what are y'all talking about? All right. That's like, you go out and do that in the real game, I guarantee you they call traveling you, because you are not James Harden. They gonna call travel on you.
Hey, but D. Ewing, man, these people are selling $70, $80 a month. This is pre-Rona. Virtual memberships, like, dog, I mean, like, man, it's a real world out there, man. Like,
definitely a space.
Getting honest, man, really teaching kids the game, man. I'm like, teach kids the game, but drop some of this, like, you know, step on the work a little bit, man. Throw a little. Hey, this is a in out. You know, this is a DU step right here. You got to give it a name. Re-rock it, man, because they out here really selling it, man. Like,
I mean, some people, and it's some guys out here really teaching the kids how to do stuff the right way. And, you know, they got some guys who really creative with what they do. But like you said, it's a lot of people who can be in this space now, and you know, and they feel like they got an audience. They can put out the content, and they got people who rocking with them.
But they stealing from you. They stealing from TJ, man. That's supposed to be y'all $69 a month.
Hey, the other thing I be noticing, but we don't really know how much money some of them some of these trainers that's out there are literally just, hey, I'm showing up to the gym, I'm rebounding for you, I'm recording it, and I'm throwing it out there like I got $80 courses training a G League guy. You know what I mean? Like, I know I've seen it personally where I'm like, is he really training, or did he just show up to LA Fitness, have his camera, and then, like, just almost being glorified rebound guy, and then just, like you said, packaging it up like he the top trainer in the league. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, it's not, right. It's a, like I said, social media, man. You can dress up how you want it to make it look. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, you know, and a lot of people wouldn't know the difference. Like, it's not too many guys, especially the type of guys you talking about, Rob. It's not too many guys like really killing it doing training. Like, training it's a tough little gig to try to get started and have, because, you know, you trying to deal with you're dealing with amateur athletes, right? You're not, you know what I'm saying? You don't have like Like you got your elite guys who got the pros and they training the top, you know what I'm saying, some of the top NBA guys, and then they'll get the top high school guys or college guys. But these guys who dealing with all these kids, unless you got a program, right? Unless you got a program, you ain't really making no money off training.
Man, there's 500 women in Katy that got $400 a month for their kid to come, see you twice a week. You hold up a broom and they shoot over it. They get a shirt, they get the whole. I'm telling you, man. But hey, how your kids picking up to the game, man?
My oldest, man, he say my oldest he into sports. He ain't really he only 8, but he ain't no diehard like sports kid right now. But I mean, he played baseball and basketball. So he say he want to play baseball, so I'm trying to push him on that. I know if he really gets serious about basketball, I know we can always catch up. I can catch him up on that because that's what I done done. But baseball, that's not my sport, so I want to try to keep him as consistent and as involved in that as I can, because I mean that's where the money really at.
No doubt, man. And hey, when it come that point in time, man, I don't know if you're already in touch with his brother Josh Jones, Texas Blue Chip. Man, at first he was sending kids to college, and like, man, now he's sending kids to the league, man. So, and he started with them young, man. But
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. Me and Josh, I've been knowing Josh since I was in elementary.
That's the whole city, man.
So I got my son before the Corona stuff took over. My son was training with Josh.
Oh, sweet, man. Hey, look, man, Zoom stepped in and blessed us this time, man. Out of nowhere, they just dropped the button, man. We not tripping on the time limit, man. So they gave us a little extra time, man. So shout out to Zoom for the unofficial sponsorship, man. But hey, yo, man, it was good breaking bread with y'all, man. And what I'll do is, man, I'll just chop it up into like 3 pieces, like the playoff tournament stuff, and then the pathway stuff, and then however y'all see fit to use it, if it fit, cool. And shit, man. Just really wanted us to all get together, chop it up, put y'all in touch, man, and just keep the dialogue going, man. Because man, we got some good resources and ingredients and ideas between us, man. I think we could really, execute on some stuff, man. I'm looking forward to checking out that podcast from you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. All good, man. I appreciate it. Always good talking to y'all, man. Good meeting you, Daniel. I'm gonna follow what you got going on, man. Keep in touch, for sure.
Bet.
All right, bro. All right, man. Y'all stay up. Peace.
All right, Rob. Appreciate it, bro.